Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Lane here and we are on the guided practice. You'll be in pages 312 and 313, or if you have the 2017 version, you are on page 302 and 303. So let's start with the example. Zoe and her lab partner have a mystery mineral that they are trying to identify. They take turns finding the mass of the same mineral before finding its density. Here are their measurements. So you've got 5 kiddos here and they're each measuring the same thing. One kid gets 50 and 1/10 gram. Another gets 50 and 4/10 gram. The third student gets 20 and 5/10 gram. The fourth student gets 50 and 2/10 gram. And then the fifth student gets 50 and 2/10 gram. Now it says, given the context of these data points, is the median or middle number or the mean or average a better measure of center? Well, if you focus on it and think about it for a little bit, the median is the middle number. So we're going to line all of those numbers up and find the middle. That would mean we'd throw this outlier here, this one student who was having a bad day, we'd throw their number way over here on the end and we could still find the middle. So that would give us the median. If we were going to find the mean, we're going to add all those numbers up and average. And I'm going to say that the median is a better indicator of center, because it takes that number, that outlier, and it puts it on the end, and we won't count it. We just still find the median or the middle. Now, if we find the mean or the average, we're going to include that information in our answer, and it's going to significantly lower the result that we get. So I'm definitely going to agree with the book and say that the median is a better measure of center because all of the masses except one are around 50 grams. This guy was the only one not around 50 grams. Finding the mean with an outlier such as 20.5 would produce a number much lower than the mineral's actual mass. So we're going to take this information, we're going to keep that in mind as we move on to number 12. 12 asks us to use the data set in the student model, this information right here, and calculate the mean and the median without the outlier, which is a better measure of center. So we are going to calculate the mean and the median without the outlier. So the median is really simple. Okay, because well, this is with the outlier. We've got it right here. With outlier. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put without outlier. All right. So let's go back. The median with the outlier, we've already found it, is 50.2. Okay. The median without the outlier, cover up 20.5. And when we look, does the median stay the same? It does. It still stays at 50.2. Okay. Now we're going to find the mean with the outlier. And then you're going to find the mean on your own without the outlier. Okay, so the mean with the outlier. In order to find the mean, you just add those numbers up. So we do 20.5, 50.1, 50.2, 50.2, and 50.4. Okay, and we'll add those up together real quick. 5 plus 1 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. Put down my 4, carry my 1. We've got a bunch of zeros there except for the 1. And then the last column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, which give us 20, plus 2 is 22. So you come up with a number of 221 and 4/10. Is that our mean? Well, that's the sum, but that's not our mean. In order to get the mean, we're going to have to take this number and divide it by 5 because there's 5 data points. So we're going to take 5 into 221.4. How many times does 5 go into 22? Goes in 4 times. Oh, first of all, don't forget to put up that decimal point. You need to do that. Okay, 5 goes into 22 4 times. Bring down your 2 and your 1. How many times does 5 go into 21? I hope you said 4 again. 4 times 5 is 20. And when we subtract, we get 1 and a 4. How many times does 5 go into 14? 2. Bring down your 10. And you're going to subtract and get 4. 5 cannot go into 4, so we're going to bring down a 0 and get 40. How many times does 5 go into 40? 8. So your median, or excuse me, your mean then will be 44.28. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have found the median and the mean when we keep the outlier of 20.5. Now, I want you to figure out the mean if we get rid of that outlier of 20.5. Okay, so you're going to add up these 4 numbers, and then you're going to divide by 4, and you will come up with the mean. I'm going to let you pause, boys and girls, give you a little bit of time to do that. So please pause the video, and then we'll move on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have taken the time and worked it out, you have found that without the outlier, when we take out 20.5, we get a mean of 50.2. So the same as the median. So let's go back up and look at the question. And the question says, use the data set in the student model above to calculate the mean and median without the outlier. And you did that right over there. Now, which is a better measure of center? We're going to say without the outlier. The mean and median are both good measures of center because they both come up with 50.2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next page. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on page 313, or maybe some of you are on page 303, and we are going to answer question number 13. It says to complete the table below. How many data points are represented in the histogram? So this is where we're going to look at each bin, and we're going to decide how many data points there are in each. So my first bin, well, I should have a bin here, but there's not one there. So I'm going to say 0 through, okay, how many drivers do I have there? 0. Okay. Your next bin will be right here. Write this number down. Once again, we don't have a bin there. So again, we have 0 drivers. Now, here we actually have a bin. So write down 2/10 through 29/100. How many drivers do you have there? Do you have 2? Well, not quite 2. You just have, right, you just have 1. Our next bin is 3/10 through 39/100. How many drivers do you have there? This case, we do go up to the 2 line, so we have 2. Okay, your next bin is going to be 4/10 through 49/100. And if you look how full that bin is, it goes past the 6. It's not quite to the 8. It is at 7. Okay. Your largest bin is going to be 5/10 through 59/100. How many do you have there? You have 12. So boys and girls, you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to complete the rest of it. You can watch as we figure it out. How many do we have there? 9. Okay, and then we significantly shrink, and we go from 7/10 to 79/100. We've got 2. And finally, our last, well, it's our last bin with anything in it. I guess it's not our last bin. 8/10 to 89/100. It's got 1. And our last one is 9/10 through 99/100. And it's empty, so it's got 0 drivers in there. Okay, so the total. And to total that, we just have to add them up. So I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. You should have gotten 34. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to allow you to do number 14 on your own. Just make sure, read through it, and you're going to find the statements that are true. There is only one statement that is true in number 14. So good luck with number 14, and then go ahead and move on to your PPS pages. All right, 6th graders, have a great day. Bye.